Good morning, children. Today we are going to continue the lesson that we started in the last class, and that is responsibility towards society. So, in the last class, we learned that our Constitution has given us 6 fundamental rights, and these are right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, cultural and educational rights, and right to constitutional remedies. Now, in today's lesson, we will understand each of these rights and see how we can enjoy them. So, let's begin. So, the first right we have is right to equality. What does it mean? Well, the most basic right to equality is that all the human beings are equal. Well, this was not the case before independence, when we had no constitution of our own. Our constitution was made after independence. These rules and laws were made after India got freedom from the British rule. Before that, there were no such rules. There were no rights and no duties as such. People, they discriminated against each other. In earlier times, caste system was followed in which certain people belonging to a certain caste, which was called the upper caste, and certain people belonged to another caste, which was called lower caste. And people from the upper caste discriminated against the people from lower castes. What exactly happened in that? Well, we just learned few days back in the chapter named the Vedic Age, isn't it? Where people followed the caste system. People from upper caste made the people from lower caste feel as if they are lesser beings. And people from upper caste are much superior. As a result, they practiced untouchability. That is, people from upper caste did not even touch people from the lower caste. They made them feel so small. But what is this caste system? What is upper and lower caste? Well, it was defined by certain section of the society. There is no upper and lower caste in our society. We are all born equal, isn't it? So the Constituent Assembly gave the right to equality to every citizen of our country. That is, everyone is equal. It also says that no difference should be made between men and women or between people who belong to different religions, castes or regions. So people cannot be discriminated because of their religion, because of their caste, or because of their region or place of birth. It also states that equal opportunities, equal pay for both the genders. So our constitution also ensures that there is equal opportunity and equal pay for both the genders. Either be it a man or a woman, they get equal opportunities and equal pay for the same work. That means there is no discrimination against any particular gender. That is what right to equality means. Clear? Alright. The second right that our constitution gives us is right to freedom. Now what it means? It means every Indian citizen is free to speak and express views as a free citizen of the country. This right gives us the freedom to express our views. This right also includes freedom to assemble or gather in groups peacefully. That is why we sometimes see people coming out in groups and protesting against something they don't like or they don't want. Nobody can stop them. That is their right. People are also allowed to form a union, clubs, or any such associations. We are also free to move from one place to another, like from Rajasthan to Tamil Nadu or from Gujarat to Bihar. We can move anywhere, wherever we wish. Okay, we also have freedom to choose any profession that we want. We can become a teacher or an engineer or shopkeeper or a fashion designer, a journalist or a trader. So we can choose any profession as per our choice. But we must have proper degree for that. Here we must remember that there are certain reasonable restrictions to enjoy these freedoms. For example, you have right to speak, but it doesn't mean that you abuse someone. You have freedom to reside or stay anywhere, but it doesn't mean that you trespass in anybody's house to reside. Every responsible citizen of India should remember these reasonable restrictions while enjoying right to freedom. Alright, the third fundamental right is right to freedom of religion. Children, you must have heard people saying India is a secular country. What does it mean? It means that people of India are free to follow their own religious beliefs. There are places where people are not allowed to follow their own religion. They are forced to follow one single religion, whether they want to or not. But in India, we are free to profess, practice, or propagate our religion. There is no discrimination between a Hindu or a Sikh, a Muslim or a Buddhist, a Christian or a Parsi. That's why in India we have a church as well as a mosque, along with a Hindu or Jaina temples. There is a religious diversity in India, and this is possible only because of right to freedom of religion. It reflects India as a secular country where every citizen has the freedom to profess, practice, and propagate any religion. Hope it's clear. Okay, now the fourth fundamental right we have is cultural and educational rights. See, children, every community has the right to preserve, protect, and develop its own culture. It means all the different communities have the right to preserve, protect, and develop their own culture. That is the right given to us by our constitution. That is cultural and educational rights. So how do we protect, preserve, and develop our culture? Well, by practicing different activities which our culture encourages. So whether it be a folk music or maybe folk dance, this is not specific to any particular community or any particular culture. All the different communities and cultures which exist in our country have these rights. So cultural and educational rights ensures that everybody is free to preserve, protect, and develop its own culture. Not only that, cultural and educational rights also ensures that minority groups can have their own schools so that they have their own distinguished learning and they are not discriminated. So interests of citizens belonging to minority groups, including their right to set up schools and colleges, are protected. So minority groups are small groups, that is people from a particular group which are very less in number in our country. Because they are less in number doesn't mean that they cannot develop their education or they cannot enjoy the same rights as majority population. So cultural and educational rights gives them the ability to develop their community through education. It also states that Citizens should not be refused admissions into any school or colleges run by the government. It means each and every individual has the right to impart education, to attend schools and colleges. So cultural and educational rights is another important fundamental right in our country. Okay? Alright, the next right that we enjoy is right against exploitation. Alright, now let's see what this is. Right against exploitation mentions that nobody can force children below 14 years to work. That is, they cannot practice child labor. If a person forces a child who is below 14 years of age to work, it means the person is practicing child labor and the person is liable to be punished under the Constitution of India because child labor is illegal in our country. So right against exploitation is a very important right in our country which our constitution ensures. So child labor is illegal according to Constitution of India because we have a fundamental right, that is right against exploitation. Every human being is free to choose what they want to do and how they want to live their lives. They cannot be forced to do something or they cannot be bought or sold. Human beings are free individuals and our country has given this right to every citizen. So human trafficking is illegal. Apart from that, this right also ensures that underprivileged are not exploited. Underprivileged are those people who are uneducated and very poor. Just because they are poor and uneducated, people cannot force them to work without payment or for very little payment. They have the same rights as all of us have, so they cannot be exploited. Exploiting underprivileged or poor people is also illegal according to the Constitution of India because every citizen has right against exploitation. Okay, the sixth fundamental right in our constitution is right to constitutional remedies. Well, this is a very important fundamental right. What would you do if someone exploits you or police arrests you for no reason? What would you do if a group of people hit you for practicing your religion or culture? Right to constitutional remedy is the solution to such problems. Under this right, we are allowed to approach or appeal in the court of law. In case any fundamental right is denied or violated, for example, if your right to free speech is violated or denied, if the government or any person is trying to stop you from expressing your views, what would you do? You can go to the courts and the court will decide whether your right to express your opinion is valid or not. And if it is valid, then you will be given protection, as well as the other person who tried to stop you from expressing your views will be punished. So the courts make sure that all our fundamental rights are not violated. If any one of them is violated, we can always go to the court because we have the right to constitutional remedies. So these are the 6 fundamental rights given to us by our country, which we can enjoy freely. But we also have some duties to perform towards our society and country. We cannot enjoy our rights without fulfilling our duties. You must remember that. Rights and duties go together. Today we discussed the rights of the citizens. In the next class, we will discuss the duties to be performed as a responsible citizens. Okay? So after watching this video, you will read the chapter once, okay? Okay, children, keep learning. Thank you for watching.